One Zambia, One Nation to present the news at 18 hours on TV2. I'm Patricia Ellis Pumulo. Top stories in the news. Zambia's maize harvest projected to increase to more than 3.6 million tons for the 2016-2017 farming season. The state has entered a nolle prosequi in a case where UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is jointly accused with 5 others of disobeying lawful orders. Also coming up in the news, Sports Minister Moses Mawere says government is yet to act on the offer to host the 2019 Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. Thank you so much for joining us, and now the news in detail. Zambia is this year expected to harvest more than 3.6 million tons of maize for the 2016-2017 farming season. This represents a 25% increase above the harvest for the previous farming season. Agriculture Minister Dora Celia has announced the maize crop harvest forecast today in Lusaka, which she put at 3,606,549 tons. She also has announced the lifting of the ban on the export of maize.
Farmers have done it again, and as Minister of Agriculture, I'm extremely pleased. The National Food Balance Sheet for the 2017-2018 marketing season, based on the Crop Forecasting Survey, shows that the country has produced sufficient maize for both human consumption and industrial use. As already stated, total maize production in the 2016-17 season has been estimated to be 3,606,549 metric tons. The country also has a maize carryover stock amounting to 569,317 metric tons as at 1st May 2016. I'm pleased to announce the following measures. 1. The export ban on maize and maize products is hereby lifted.
Meanwhile, Ms. Celia says the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, will only buy 500,000 tons of maize this year, and it will not buy maize to supply to the millers. The Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has approved the upward adjustment of electricity tariffs by 75%. This follows ZESCO's application for the adjustment and subsequent public hearing on the matter last Friday, May 5th. ERB Acting Chairman Francis Yamba has announced the approval, saying the first 50% adjustment will be effected next Monday, May 15th, 2017. He was speaking in Lusaka today during a media briefing.
Following ZESCO's application in March 2017 to adjust the tariffs for the year 2017-18, it is my honor and privilege to announce that the Energy Regulation Board has now made a decision. I'm therefore here to announce the approved tariffs for ZESCO for the year 2017-2018. This tariff adjustment will apply across all customer categories, excluding mining and exports, and shall be implemented in 2 phases this year. ZESCO anchored its application to increase tariffs, which predicated mainly on changes in the economic conditions since the last adjustment in 2014, the power deficit, which reached its height in 2015-2016, changes in the cost of generating, transmitting, distributing, and supplying electricity.
President Edgar Lungu says the government will continue to foster a conducive environment that will see the strengthening of mutual relations between Zambia and China. President Lungu says government is committed to growing the mutual and economic cooperation between the two countries. He has, however, said the projects in the country are on course. President Lungu was speaking when the Chinese Vice Foreign Minister in charge of African Affairs, Zhang Ming, paid a courtesy call on him at State House.
We can only assure you that we will do our part to ensure that our mutual cooperation continues gaining more and more higher ground. So, welcome.
And Mr. Ming said China and Zambia continue to share mutual trust and economic cooperation, which have grown over the years. Mr. Ming said following the re-election of President Lungu, Zambia has made strides to upgrade its economy. The visiting foreign minister said currently China has invested about 380 million kwacha in Zambia.
And Zambia enjoy a good tradition of friendship between our two peoples. And this traditional friendship has withstood the test of the times and the changes in the international landscape, and this has become an important spiritual asset of the people of our two countries. And in the year 2016, the newly added Chinese investment to Zambia reached $380 million, which ranked second among all African countries.
The state has entered a nolle prosequi in a case in which UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is jointly accused with 5 others of disobeying lawful orders. In this matter, it was alleged that Mr. Hichilema and his co-accused did disobey a police order or command to give way to the presidential motorcade. This was in Mongu, Western Province, during the Kuomboka traditional ceremony last month. When the matter came up today before Lusaka Magistrate Greenwell Mulamani, the state presented a nolle prosequi signed by its principal state advocate Galamil Zemba. The state also informed the court that the nolle prosequi is not applicable to the other offence against Mr. Hichilema of using insulting language. Meanwhile, trial in a case where Mr. Hichilema is accused of using insulting language has started today. The state presented as witnesses 4 police officers who were allegedly insulted by Mr. Hichilema when they went to his house. Martin Musamba-Chime told the court that Mr. Hichilema allegedly issued the statement, "Remove these dogs from my house," in reference to the officers before showering them with more insults. Mr. Musamba-Chime explained that this was in the presence of Mr. Hichilema's lawyers, Jack Mwimbu and Chad Mleza. Another witness, Mbi Tampazi, alleged that Mr. Hichilema's lawyer, Martha Mushipe, wanted to beat him with a clenched fist after he approached her to complain about Mr. Hichilema's alleged insults. Mr. Mpazi said police officers who were insulted lodged in a complaint in form of a report at Kawata police station. He said the officers were offended but restrained themselves. Defense lawyer Keith Mwemba, however, queried Mr. Mbita on why he is the arresting officer and a complainant at the same time. Meanwhile, Magistrate Simusamba is tomorrow, May 11th, scheduled to deliver a ruling on whether to commit Mr. Hichilema's treason case to the High Court for trial or not. This was after the defense alleged that the committal certificate is defective because the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, did not personally sign on the document. The defense has also demanded that the matter be taken to the High Court for constitutional determination. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, has reiterated that the ban on night movement of all public service vehicles, PSV, is in effect. This includes long-distance buses and lorries. RATSA Head of Public Relations Fred Mwanga has told TV2 News that it has, however, come to the attention of the agency that some lorries have continued to move at night despite the ban. Mr. Mwanga has explained that the Ministry of Transport and Communications is still consulting on relaxing the ban, however, which will be conditional.
Government will be making amendments to allow cargo public service vehicles to apply for exemptions when they meet conditions that will be set up by the Road Transport and Safety Agency, which include road safety workplace policy, including the Global Positioning System device regulations. Therefore, the statutory instrument is in effect in its totality until such a time that the minister will announce or rather sign the amended statutory instrument. So we want to appeal to all public service vehicle operators, especially for cargo, that they should abide by the provisions of the law. Those that will be found wanting, of course, will be prosecuted and impounded.
Burial for Salome Kapwepwe, the widow of the late freedom fighter Simon Kapwepwe, has been set for this Saturday, May 13th. Mrs. Kapwepwe, who died on Monday, May 8th, aged 90, will be put to rest in Chinsali, Mchinga province. This will be at the same burial place where her husband, the late Mr. Kapwepwe, was put to rest. Mchinga province Permanent Secretary Bright Nundwe has confirmed this in an interview with Zanis today.
As a province, we have lost a gallant woman. We have lost an icon. We have lost a woman with a lot of wisdom, and we'll remember as a province. You see, whether somebody has attained 90 years and above, to us, that was our pride. We still feel massively grieved. This is the lady, when the husband goes in the field to fight for liberation of this country, should take care of the children and take care of the home. To us, it's heartbreaking. We would have loved for our lady to live a little bit longer than knocking off this time. The people of Mchinga province, and particularly those in Chinsali, are deeply grieved with the untimely death of our old lady. We want to make sure that we should provide a very befitting send-off. I'm pretty certain will take place on Saturday. So we expect the heads of department to work together with the provincial administration. Let's work together as a unit to make sure that we do things efficiently.
Still on a sad note, the security guard who was allegedly shot dead by Chilanga Member of Parliament Keith Mkata has been put to rest at Mukuni village in Livingstone Southern Province. 63-year-old Namakau Kalila Kwenda, who was working for a private security firm, was shot dead at Mr. Mkata's law firm of offices in Lusaka's Rhodes Park area. The body of the deceased was transported from Lusaka to Livingstone yesterday by family members ahead of burial today. Family spokesperson Richard Matengo has confirmed to TV2 News in a telephone interview. Mr. Kalila Kwenda is survived by a wife and 7 children. Police have since warned and cautioned Mr. Mkata and his alleged accomplice Charmaine Msonda over the matter, and they are yet to be charged, although he has remained in custody. We now go for a break, and we still have more news to come. I'll be right back. We continue with the news. President Edgar Lungu has assured donors that his administration is committed to upholding the rule of law and the tenets of democracy. This is according to a message delivered to members of the diplomatic corps accredited in Zambia on behalf of the president by Finance Minister Felix Mtati. This was last evening in Lusaka at the European Union EU National Day. Mr. Mtati said President Lungu has emphasized that his political governance model will be anchored on the rule of law, non-interference and respect for human rights. Earlier, EU head of delegation in Zambia, Alessandro Mariani, described the ties between the EU and Zambia as solid and dynamic. Tourism Minister Charles Banda has called on Spanish tour operators to consider Zambia as one of the destinations of choice for their outbound tourists. Mr. Banda has said Zambia considers Spain as one of the international tourist source market with tremendous potential. The minister was speaking in Spain yesterday when he met 26 key selected Spanish tour operators at a working tourism forum organized by the Zambian Mission in Paris. This is in collaboration with the Madrid Chamber of Commerce. Now, Lands Minister Jean Kapata says the national audit of land is a continuous exercise. Ms. Kapata, who is also Mandevu, Member of Parliament, says the exercise is meant to establish ownership of land. She has explained that there have been various challenges in land administration which government wants to resolve. And Ms. Kapata says her ministry's report on harvesting, transportation and export of the Mukula logs is almost ready, and it will first be presented to President Edgar Lungu. She was speaking today during the News and Current Affairs segment of TV2's Morning Live program.
Well, first of all, the land audit is still an ongoing project in our ministry. We need to know the land that belongs, first of all, to government, and also the land that belongs to traditional leaders. I'm sure you're aware that the land that we have in Zambia, 90% of it is under the customary it's under customary law. The other one is under the government, and the one which is government is 10%, meaning that's the land that falls under our Republican president.
Right.
So we need to audit land so that we know which one belongs to government and which one belongs to traditional leaders. So, I'm sure you're aware that as Minister of Lands, I'm only entitled to give up to 1,000 hectares. Anything above that, the President has to approve. And the chiefs are only allowed to give 250. Anything above that, I have to approve.
Right. Now we
Chieftainess Nkomesha Mukamambo, the second of the Isoli people, has welcomed the opening of a superior milling depot in Chongwe district. Speaking at the official opening of the depot today in Chongwe, the traditional leader has said the gesture is a true reflection of government's public-private partnership PPP initiatives. She said this through senior headman Nkomesha. Lucky Piri has won this report.
Another group of women have been empowered through training on how to manage a small medium enterprise, SME business. This is a group of women who have benefited in Chongwe district. The empowerment program is facilitated by Superior Milling. It is the milling company's plan to empower women through training in every area they open a new depot for its products. And today, it was time to celebrate for the 10 women beneficiaries of the training. And Senior Chieftainess Nkomesha Mukamambo of the Soli people is happy with the program. The traditional leader gave praise for the empowerment program through Senior Chief Headman Nkomesha.
My people and I are very happy for this development. You are most welcome to conduct your business in harmony and offer competition to the other brands that are already found in this area. 10 selected women have undergone training in SMEE, business management, and today we receive certificates for participating in becoming entrepreneurs.
Meanwhile, Superior Milling has opened a depot for its products in Chongwe district. Company Managing Director Peter Kotan says we'll continue on this path of doing business, but also empowering women.
So our intention is, through the DC's office and through Her Royal Highness' office, that we would like to put together purchasing powers based at this depot, where we will buy small-scale maize direct from the miller, from the farmers.
And Chongwe District Commissioner Fraser Musonda has appealed to the Superior Milling to consider opening up a milling plant in the district in the near future.
Should not be converted into a trading center. We appreciate that this has come with job creation. But more so, if we allow milling plants to be developed in Chongwe district, we will create more jobs.
The new depot will bring maize products closer to the people of Chongwe. Lucky Piri, TV2 News, Chongwe district.
In another development, Chief Mumena of the Kaunde people in Kalumbila, Northwestern Province, has called on the church to defend the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. The traditional leader says this is because the declaration has defined the identity of the country. Chief Mumena says the declaration is a privilege that has made the people of Zambia proud, and the church must help to ensure it is guarded. The traditional leader said this when he addressed the second missions conference for the Evangelical Church in Zambia in Mukinge in Kasempa district yesterday. In sports news, Sports Minister Moses Mawere says government is yet to act on the offer to host the 2019 Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. Mawere says government has not acted on the matter yet because Ahmed led CAF executive has hinted that some decisions made by the previous executive could be reviewed. The request was made by the CAF-led Issa Hayatu executive earlier this year. Let's take a look at this report by Katrishi Walia.
Barely months after successfully hosting the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, Zambia has another chance to prove to the world that it is equal to the task. The Confederation of African Football CAF has now given Zambia another chance to prove that it is capable of hosting any major international tournament. CAF has given Zambia a chance to host the 2019 Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. Sports Minister Moses Mawere has confirmed this in an interview.
I think it shows that they were satisfied with how we hosted the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. For them now to quickly, within a space of less than 6 months, to still again give us another tournament, a slightly bigger tournament, but of course of the same number of countries, which is 8 countries. So what remains is for them to write to us as a ministry, as a line ministry, and then from there we will write to cabinet so that we can get a cabinet approval.
The decision was made by the former CAF president Issa Hayatou before he left office. Mawere says government has not yet acted on the letter and is waiting for the new CAF executive to confirm this development.
And as a country, we wait until we get the confirmation from the new administration under Ahmed, so that whether they will confirm that yes, it's the same one, because I'm sure you are aware that there have been some tabloids coming from CAF to say that they may review some of the decisions which were made by the previous administration.
Mawere has since thanked CAF for the confidence and faith shown in Zambia. And Mawere has also assured service providers that the Ministry of Finance will soon release 15 million kwacha owed to them for the services rendered during the just-ended Under-20 AFCON. Katushi Bwadia, TV2 Sport in Lusaka.
Still in sports news, the FIFA Council has ratified the decision to give Africa 9 automatic places when the World Cup expands to 48 teams in 2026. Africa currently has 5 spots at the tournament. A 10th African country will take part in a 6-nation playoff tournament to decide the last 2 spots. The expanded World Cup will feature 16 teams from Europe. FIFA members voted in January to expand the World Cup from 32 to 48 teams, starting with the 2026 edition. To end the news, a recap on the top stories. Zambia's maize harvest projected to increase to more than 3.6 million tons for the 2016-2017 farming season. This represents a 25% increase above the harvest for the previous farming season. The state has entered a nolle prosequi in a case where UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is jointly accused with 5 others of disobeying lawful orders. In this matter, it was alleged that Mr. Hichilema and his co-accused did disobey a police order or command to give way to the presidential motorcade. And finally, in the news, Sports Minister Moses Mawere says government is yet to act on the offer to host the 2019 Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. Mawere says government has not acted on the matter yet because the Ahmed-led CAF executive has hinted that some decisions made by the previous executive could be reviewed. That ends the news at 18 on TV2. I'll be back with another news broadcast at 20. Bye-bye for now.